Not sure what I'm missing here. Ha! Oh, we're missing our ground clamp. Happens to everybody. Don't laugh. All right, let's see if I didn't mess this up so bad I can't cut it now. Oh, that works way better. Amateur. Welcome back to Kevin's Trooper channel. This is part 3, I think, of the welding cart build. Hopefully we're going to get that thing finished up today. And I'm going to put the base on. I've decided to use this rectangular tubing and come out about 3 inches on each side to give this thing some lateral stability. If this thing is ever going to tip over, it's going to tip over sideways. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to attach something to hold my bottle here at the top. I've been thinking about some kind of a secure way that I can attach my bottle at the top other than just use a chain. I want to do something a little cooler than just have a chain wrapped around there. So I'm still thinking about what I'm going to design with that. And then after that, we'll be painting this thing. So thanks for joining me. Let's get started. All right, I got my 2 cross legs finished. I used the chop saw to take the end off of them. And then I went ahead and took the piece that I cut off and traced around it to make my cap for the ends. As I'm a big fan of, if you have something, it looks so much more finished if you just take the time to cap the ends where this is not just open tubing right here. So I'm going to cut this out with the plasma, and I need to go inside this circle because this was the outside diameter. So I'm going to come in just about 1/4 of an inch and trace this out, and then we'll weld them on the ends. That's going to work. I'm going to use the belt sander to smooth out the edges of this cap, and then I'll use this to trace out the other 4 or other 3. What do you think? That pass inspection?
Yep.
Alright. Let's see if that's good on there. Yep. 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 Yep.
If I mess one up.
There's always a way to fix it.
Yep.
Did you know even if we drilled a hole in the wrong place, all you have to do is hit it with the welder and weld up the hole and then re-drill it? You can the neat thing about working in metal is you can always fix stuff. I mean, if you cut the wrong thing or whatever, you can always fix it.
Yep.
You know, because you can always just weld the hole up and then start over if you need to.
Yeah.
So that's what's so cool about it.
Hot.
Yeah, it's kind of warm, that one, huh? Okay. Now let's see what size drill bit we're going to need.
Then why the heck is there a line at the bottom?
What?
Right here.
That's from old stuff that I cut building the bumper, and I just cut it too far. Alright, what size drill bit should you use?
I think we might use this one.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yep.
Now, if I had a drill press, we could just put these in there and press it, but I don't have one.
These are really hard to push.
So we got to do it the old school way.
Yep. Yay!
Okay.
No,
What do we do before we drill this hole?
check, I think.
There's something we have to do to make sure our hole gets drilled in the right spot.
We take a screwdriver
We take this
and do
and
what?
we're gonna punch a little hole, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Remember how I showed you how to do that?
Yeah. Can I do it?
Yeah, you can do it.
Do we do it with a hammer?
Yep.
I'm using a rubber hammer.
And I'm gonna show you another little
What
trick.
happens if I smash my arm?
I'm gonna show you another little trick that I learned.
Why can't I use this one?
Cause that's a rubber mallet. And rubber mallets don't really work right for that.
Can I try it?
What the rubber mallet is for, let's say you're working on a shock or something and you need to hammer the shock in there and you don't want to scar it up or anything like that. That's when you would use that. Yeah. That would be like if you was trying to hammer something into a part or something like that.
But what happens if I smash my finger with this?
Well, that's why we're holding it like this, see? Now, we want to get this right in the dead center.
So hit it?
Hit it.
Oops.
All right. One more time. Right
Whoops.
there. Here, back your fingers up in case you hold it by the handle. Now, watch your eye right there.
But this is not one of the dead center.
Now, that's how you do that. All right. I'll tell you what we probably ought to do. We probably ought to have it here to start out. That way it's not going to move on us.
Hit it?
Yep. That's what we need. One more time. Oh, look at that.
Yay!
Here, let's do this one again.
Harder.
Look at you. Hold on.
Hit.
Now look, you're looking right here, okay?
Hit it.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about.
One hit.
Rambo right there, ball.
Hit it.
Yep. That's the way you do that. All right.
Hit it.
Yep. Now look, bring your hammer straight down. Oh, oh, oh. That's good work right there, man.
Dad, you're bleeding.
Where? Oh, I didn't know. What'd the guy say on Predator? I ain't got time to bleed. Remember Jesse Ventura on Predator?
Yeah.
Last one, boy!
And then we can clean them all off.
seen a drill bit bend. I've seen a lot of them break, but I've never seen one bend when you use it the first time.
No.
That's probably some Chinese junk.
Yep. Not some U.S.
Not some American-made stuff from America. Not a bad-looking weld. Pretty pleased with that one. All right, we almost have our legs finished. And that's what it's going to look like right there with the legs on it. Well, guys, I came up with a really cool idea for my hooks to hang my hoses on. An old trooper spring. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting this up. I'm going to weld this to the side, and I'll have some hooks to hang my hoses on. Now, one of the interesting things about this is that you can tell by the sparks that this thing puts off that this is a high carbon steel. And what happens, the sparks, at the end of the spark, it has like a little flare to it that only high carbon steel does. Lots of cool information out there on looking at the sparks that something puts off to determine whether it's high carbon steel or not. If you watch the sparks, you'll see what I'm talking about. So here's what I was thinking, guys. I was thinking I could weld these here for hooks for my hoses. Yeah. All right. All right, get ready. Welding. Welding. Ah!
What happened?
Dang it.
You burnt the hole in it?
The welder turned up too damn hot for that. Alright, welding.
Welding! Wow! That's cool! Welding!
Alright, welding.
Mom?
Alright, welding. Clear.
That was cool. That was cool.
Alright, let me see if I can patch this one hole up. Welding. Watch how I do this, buddy. Watch me patch this hole up. Saw it?
Yeah?
Hit that with a grinder. One cool little trick to keep your cord from coming unplugged is tie it like this. Then you can pull on it and it won't come unplugged. we are pretty much done with everything except for the painting, and I still have to attach some device to hold the bottle in. As much as I didn't want to put a chain on this thing like everybody else, it looks like that's what I'm going to end up doing. I just can't really come up with anything better. So I went and got this chain, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld it here, and then I'll put some kind of an attachment point here on the other end. It's kind of typical. It's not really what I wanted to do, but I think that's what I end up doing. I can't come up with anything easier or better. I really love using the springs as hangers for my hoses and cords. I think that was a great touch. I got my bottle of C25 in for our welder cart build, and unfortunately it doesn't fit. But wait till you see the fix that I'm gonna do. It's gonna be cooler than it was if it would have fit. Well, that's right, guys. The bottle of C25 doesn't exactly fit in here the way I had it designed. If you'll notice, this is not sitting all the way on the ground. You see how it's not quite able to fit there? It hits here before it sets flush on the bottom. I wasn't expecting that. The way that I had it designed, it should have fit in there exactly, but I got it just a little bit off. So let me show you guys what I'm gonna do. Okay, here's the fix that I come up with for this. I'm gonna do a hexagon out of angle iron that's gonna sit around the entire bottom of the tank. And so what I've drawn out here is I've drawn the first half of my hexagon, and I'm gonna follow this with angle iron all the way around, and it will sit just like so, and the bottle will sit down in that. And that's gonna bring it out this way and raise it up, and I think it's gonna actually be cooler than it was if it would have not fit. So this is gonna turn out to be a great solution. Now, if you guys have ever tried to draw a hexagon freehand, it took me like 2 hours to figure out exactly how this works. I had to look it up online, all kinds of angles and measurements, but I got it right. So all I have to do is follow my angle iron here and build this half and then the other half, and I'll weld it all together, and we'll end up with an angle iron hexagon by the time we're done, hopefully. Let's get started. So I was having a little bit of trouble with these markers being too big on the metal. I really couldn't get a defined line as I was going to cut my metal. So what I've done is I've ordered these Mark All Welder's pencils. These things are amazing. It's just like a pencil, except it's silver, so when you write on your metal, it shows up, and it's literally a pencil lead wide, so that you can make very defined cuts. Now the problem with that is that it was just a pencil, and I didn't have any way to attach it to myself anywhere, so I ordered these little clips. Now I can just clip it right on my shirt, and I'm all set. I'll link these for you guys. That's going to be one half of my hexagon right there. It's going to be made out of this angle iron. So all I have to do is cut 6 of these links, like so, with these angles cut in them here. And I will have a hexagon, hopefully. Well, I've got the first piece of my hexagon drawn out, and unfortunately, this chop saw that I have, it doesn't cut 60-degree angles, which means I'm gonna have to cut the whole thing freehand with my plasma cutter, but I think it'll still work out. If I need to put a little grind on the end of it to get it perfect and kind of adjust it before I weld it, I can. But I'm gonna have to try to cut the whole hexagon out with the plasma cutter and see if I can make it look good enough that way, because my chop saw just won't do it. Alright, I've got my first piece of my hexagon marked out, and we're going to see if we can get it cut with this plasma cutter and make it good enough. think that's gonna work. And here is our hexagon. I got it all cut out. I just gotta get this dross off of here, which is pretty simple to do with this new chipping hammer. It just comes right off, like so. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I didn't think I was ever going to get this drawn right, but I finally figured it out. And here is our hexagon. Very nice. Now I'm going to touch those pieces up just a little bit. You know, some of them are a little bit long. I'm going to have to touch a little bit of it up with the grinder to make sure it all fits in there really good. And then we're going to tack this thing up. But what I'm expecting to have happen is for this bottle to fit in there just like that. And it's going to fit perfectly. Look at that. That's getting the job done. By taking all this mill scale and all this rust off these weld edges, this is going to make for a better weld. A lot cleaner weld on this. I want to try to get this as nice as I can. I did manage to get in this great set of eye protection. You know, this set of glasses doesn't fog up because it has a little bit more room on the outside as those ones I was wearing in the last video. You remember in that last video I kept complaining because my glasses kept fogging up and I couldn't see. Well, even when you weld, it's important to wear these underneath because these have a little UV protection to them. In fact, I think it's like 99% or something UV protection. So if a little bit of that UV light gets through, say I have a scratch in my welding lens or something, or if I happen to forget and flash myself, these UV protected glasses will help protect my eyes a little bit from that extra light. Or say I light the plasma and I forget to put my glasses on. Having these on will help protect from a lot of those accidental things. And also, a welding helmet does not prevent those sparks from flying in and getting in your eye. You do not want to get metal in your eye. So I like to have 2 layers of eye protection on. I have my face shield and these on when I'm grinding or cutting, or I will have my welder and these on whenever I'm welding. Let's go make a hexagon. All right, I think I've got this about as perfect as I'm going to get it. I moved up here on the table so that I could ground this whole piece of metal and I wouldn't have to worry about it. And let's put some tacks in. Okay. That is beautiful. I wanted to stop and talk to you guys about something real quick, and that is fumes. You know, welding fumes are pretty harmful, and sometimes you never know exactly what's on this metal. So it's very important that you wear a respirator. You guys may not know this, but in my day job, I'm a wellness physician and chiropractor. And one of the things we do is detoxify patients from all of the environmental toxins and pollutants that they have in their body. And if you'll wear a respirator when you're doing things like welding and grinding, it'll help a lot. These are some pretty nasty fumes that come off of welding this metal. You never know exactly what's on there. I'm going to smooth it out and grind it down, but I could not be happier with how it turned out. I mean, it's pretty even all over. Better than I could have expected, as much trouble as I had drawing it. It's perfect. That's going to look so cool at the bottom of the bottle there. And it fixes my mess up. I'm going to let that cool and then we'll grind it down. And that is how you build an angle iron hexagon. That's going to go on the bottom of the tank, and it's going to sit right there. Well, I think this thing turned out really cool like this. I'm just going to figure out exactly where this needs to be, and I'll weld up these sides. I think that looks good like that. I don't know about y'all, but I think that looks cool. All right, let me show you guys where I'm at. I made this 90-degree square tubing here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this just like this. And what that's going to allow me to do is to feed this strap through here in order to hold my bottle in place. I don't really like the chain banging around and the bottle not being really secure. I want to be able to cinch it down where it doesn't bang and rattle around every time I roll the cart. It's just one of my things I don't like, you know, having the chain banging against the bottle every time you touch it. So I figure if I put these and I use this strap, I can just strap this thing and really cinch it down into this piece right here. The other thing that I thought I would do too is I'm going to cut a piece of fuel hose and I'm going to put it along this line right here so that the tank will have something rubber to rest against instead of being metal against metal here. I just don't really care for stuff clanging around every time you touch something, so I'm going to try to avoid that as much as possible. But these little angled pieces turned out great. They're going to fit right in there like so, and that'll give me something to cinch to. By the way, I was really excited about these little clips that I got from my pencils. Not worth a crap. They don't hold them on there. Half of them won't even close. Well, I guess that's what you get. If you guys decide to get you one of these flux core welders, it's a little bit different than regular MIG welding. It's a lot dirtier. So if you put a bead down and you need to put another one over the top of that, you really want to grind all that slag off of there and get it back down to bare metal. It's going to make a huge difference. This flux core welding is a lot harder than regular MIG. It's a lot dirtier, it's a lot smokier, and it's a lot harder to make a good bead with this flux core. However, this Lincoln Handy Core welder has got me up till now to do it and done pretty good. So, you know, it served its purpose, but now it's time to move up. And here it is with the strap installed. Now I'm going to obviously cut this a little bit shorter. This is way too long. I can cut this off and burn this edge where it won't fray. But that's going to be so much better than a chain banging around every time you move this. I mean, this doesn't make any rattling at all now. Well, I'm pretty much finished. I just have a ton of grinding and cleanup to do now. And my forearm is killing me from running that grinder one-handed. I shouldn't do it that way. I was trying to hold on to some metal and grind, and I did that so often. My forearm is really killing me, so I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning and grinding and smoothing, and that way if there's any welds that got missed, I can touch them up, finish cleaning that up, and then we'll be ready to prime and paint it. Here is the final product. I'm going to take some acetone, wipe everything down, and use a very special primer called Acid Etch Primer. It's specifically for bare metal and a little bit of rusty metal. It'll go in and penetrate and seal this metal off where that rust will never come through. And I just so happen to have 3 cans left from my bumper build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe it down with acetone, coat it with the acid etching primer, and then I'm going to go shop for some paint. Well, it feels good to be done with that project. I didn't really think I was going to be done with it this fast. It was like I kind of looked up and I was finished with it. You know, sometimes it works that way. But I've just got a complete disaster of a garage to clean up now. And then we're going to load, once the paint dries, we're going to load the welders on it. And I'm sure I'll be shooting some B-roll footage of it all put together. Well, here we are the next morning, and the cart is completely dried and finished, and I was so excited to put my stuff on here. I came out here late last night and went ahead and put everything on it once the paint was dry. And it turned out great. As you can see, the welder on bottom, we have plenty of room for the new Everlast iMig 200 that's going to be coming in. And one thing you guys might be curious about, I put 3 hooks on this side, and I only put 2 on the right side. And the reason that I did that is so that this side can raise up to change our wire out, because both welders open on the right side to change the wire. So I didn't want anything hanging here on the right side of the cart. Our shelf to put our electrodes and our gloves turned out great. Everything fits in there, and I have plenty of room for more electrodes once I need them. And then our shelf in the back turned out great for our hammers and just little things. I'm super happy with the octagon here. That was quite challenging to build, but it turned out amazing. I did a nice strong strap instead of a chain so it wouldn't rattle around. So I'm super happy with it. And honestly, guys, this was just practice for our welding and cutting techniques to actually do some projects coming up on the Trooper. I'm going to be doing a rear bumper, skid plates, a spare tire rack, and several other fabrication projects coming up. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you get all those projects, and give me a thumbs up because you know it means a lot to me. Thank you guys. We'll see you in the next video.